So Draw Mohammad A3, that's Tweet Mohammed, was a great success. I mean, a crazy success in that merely hours after the protest had begun, the nuclear power of Pakistan, that's one of the most populous Islamic countries on the planet, had pulled the plug on Twitter.
Pakistan has banned Twitter. Pakistan has banned Twitter over allegations that it refused to remove images of Prophet Muhammad considered offensive to Islam.
But the world has moved on since Pakistan last did this a couple of years ago. I mean, you might remember these rather prophetic words from Draw Mohammad A1. The internet is the way forward. They must realise that they will need this as part of the infrastructure of their country. I mean, surely they must realise that they cannot remain unplugged indefinitely. All they've done is box themselves into a corner, for eventually they will have to make the humiliating climb down and come to terms with their childish behaviour. And when they do, the cartoons will still be there. And this is the core of the strategical victory. The precedent is set that in confrontations of this sort, Islam is powerless online. Now compare these to the words of the Interior Minister of Pakistan on this protest.
Now, this all happens just a few hours after Pakistan's Interior Minister, Rahman Malik, actually tweeted to say a ban wouldn't be imposed because that would be something akin to taking the country back to the Stone Age. Well, it has now happened.
Indeed, if you want to feel for the impact these protests have been having, merely Pakistan pulling the plug on Twitter instantly notified some 6 million Pakistanis of this protest.
And it is estimated that an approximate 6 million people use it in Pakistan.
And it required the intervention of no less than the Prime Minister to reverse this ban.
The microblogging service is widely used in the country, even by public figures like Pakistan's Minister for the Interior. After the ban lifted, he tweeted, "Dear all, yes, I spoke to Prime Minister and informed how people are feeling about it. Prime Minister ordered to reopen the Twitter."
However, it's all indicative that this is having an effect in the right direction. Previously, Pakistan pulled the plug on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook for about 2 weeks, and this time, on instructions from as high as the Prime Minister, the ban was reversed within hours. It's difficult to contrive that this would have happened had it not been for those who were willing to act, if it hadn't been for the thousands who had drawn Mohammed, if it weren't for the thousands who had tweeted Mohammed. This time, this protest was covered by almost 1,000 news articles in the mainstream media, including news agencies such as the BBC, and yet hardly a peep from those who only 10 years ago would have been burning down embassies over merely a dozen or so cartoons. But if you're looking for the heroes who effected this change in the attitudes, you need look no further than in a mirror. Changes like this are made by those willing to act, by those willing to do something. And in this case, it was done one cartoon or one tweet at a time. Indeed, let me be so bold to make a prediction. In years to come, when people look back and write the history books, they will say that this was the turning point. With the advent of the internet, it was no longer possible to intimidate people out of their free speech by threats of violence. That this was the tipping point where these actions forced Islam to realize that many aspects of their religion are just so dumb that there's just no way that these things are going to survive the open scrutiny of the web. Islam meet internet, where religions come to die.